So we are live. Hi everyone, welcome back to Code Era. Today in this video we'll be discussing the problem of the day, or you can say LeetCode daily challenge for today, that is 11th of Feb. The name of the problem is permutations in a string. Previously this problem has been asked in a lot of organizations like Google. It's also been asked in Facebook. Apart from this, it has been asked in Amazon, Microsoft and Adobe. So please give me a +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone and also my screen is visible, so that we can start as soon as possible. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for everyone else to join in, and then we'll start with the session, right? It's a very easy problem, although it's written as a medium 1 here, but I would assure you that this particular problem will come under the easy medium category, because we have solved a lot of problems like these, right? All of you can just give me a +1 in the chat and like the video so that we can get started with this particular session today. And also let me know if there is my voice is coming clearly or not, and if there is any issue or not. Okay, hi Samadhan, hi Nandu. I'll just be starting in a minute or so. Hi Shreya, I'll just be starting in a minute or so. Just let me check the audio part so that nothing is off. Okay, so we are good to go for this session, I guess. So let's start with this session. All of you can just like the video so that we can have a head start before I start this particular session, right? So the problem is permutation. The name of the problem is permutation in string, right? So let me write the name of the problem as usual. So the name of the problem is permutation in string, right? Just give me a second. So the name of the problem is permutation in string, and previously, as I mentioned, this problem has been asked in Google. It has also been asked in Meta, that is Facebook. Apart from this, Microsoft has also asked this particular problem. Amazon, as usual, has asked this problem, and apart from this, we also have this company, that is Adobe, which has asked this problem. Apart from this, other companies have asked it as well, but these are the big companies that have asked it, right? So let's begin with this problem. Let's see what the problem says. So the problem says that you will be given a string s1 and you will be given a string s2. Let's read the problem further. So the problem says that you will be given two strings. One string would be s1, another string would be s2. You have to return true if s2 contains a permutation of string s1. Otherwise you have to return false, right? So if s2 is containing a permutation of s1, then you will return true, otherwise you will return false. What does that mean? So let's take the first example. So let's say if the string s and s2 are there, if suppose that the string s is equal to nothing but abc or something like this, suppose that the string s is equal to abc, right? And suppose that the string s2 is equal to something like pqr, then let's say x, then c, then b, then let's say a, then y, z, something like this, right? So in this particular thing, what is happening? The string s1 is what? abc. And what could be its permutations? Permutations can be a lot, right? It can be, let's say cba, then cab. A lot of permutations like these can exist for it, right? So basically what you have to do is you have to find the permutation of s1 in the string s2. If a permutation of string s1 is existing as a substring in the string s2, if this size is 3, right? The size of s1 is 3. So if there is a substring of size 3 in the string s2 such that it is having the same characters that the string s1 is having, then in that case you will say that yes, s2 is containing a permutation of the string s1 in itself. Otherwise you will return false in the end, right? What do I mean by that? So in this case you can see that cba is a permutation, this substring that is cba, it's a permutation of the original string that is abc, right? And abc can have a lot of permutations. Basically the size of the substring is 3 and it is having all the characters that are same frequency, right? That is c is occurring one number of times, b is occurring one number of times, and a is occurring one number of times. So that is why you can say you will return true, because s2 is containing a permutation of s1 in itself. That means that it is containing a substring which is of the same size as s1, and it is having this particular substring that it is having all the frequencies of the characters are same. All the characters are same and those frequencies are also same. Like in here, a is occurring one time, b is occurring one time, c is occurring one time. Here also a is occurring one time, b is occurring one time, c is occurring one time. Please consider giving me a quick +1 in the chat if this much part of the problem is clear to everyone. so that I can proceed further, right? Also like the video. I can see a lot of you are watching. You can consider to like this video, right? Is this much part of the problem clear to everyone? That you will be given one string s1, another string s2. You have to find whether a substring, whether s2 is containing a substring of the same size s1 and it is having same characters or not. The frequency of characters is same or not, right? That is, A is occurring one number of times, B is occurring one number of times, C is occurring one number of time, for example. So here also C is occurring one time, B is occurring one time, A is occurring one time, right? In any order it can be possible. Let me take another example for you. Let's say that I have an example like this, a very famous example that I always take. So let's say I have a string as dog, right? So it can have a lot of permutations, but basically if whatever permutation I'll be having, it will be having the same frequency, right? So let's say the string s2 that I have is something like a, then x, then let's say y, then let's say b, z, something like this. Then let's say I have g, then o, then d, then I have let's say p, q, something like this, right? This kind of a string I have. So in this string I have dog, right? So I have to find, if I want to find a substring s of size s1, right? A substring s1 should be present, its permutation should be present, right? So that means a permutation of s1 should be present. So that means the substring that should be present in s2 should be of the same size as that of s1, right? So I should be finding the substring of size 3 and it should have the same frequency as this is having. So d should be occurring one number of times, o should be occurring one number of times, g should be occurring one number of times, right? And whichever order it can occur, but this should happen, right? Because in a permutation any order can be possible, but the frequency of these characters should be the same and the size of the string should be should be 3, right? So I see this particular string. If I look at this particular string, all of you can consider to like the video, please, right? So this particular string, I can see that a is occurring one time, x is occurring one time, y is occurring one time. So the size is 3, but it's not doing anything, right? Then what I can do is maybe I can check here. So this substring is also not the one. Then I will check here as well. So I can see no, it's not. Then I will check this one, so it's not, right? But when I will check this one, when I will check this particular string that is starting from this part till this part, that is of size 3, all of you can consider to like this video, okay? And please give me a +1 if till now things are clear to you. So if I have a string that is God, if I'm having a string that is God, it's of size 3. What is the frequency? Let's check. G frequency is 1, O frequency is 1, D frequency is 1. So all the frequencies are same as in the original string, right? So in this case, I can say that I have found a substring in S2 such that it is equal to the size of S1 and it is having the same frequencies as S2, right? S1, right? So that means that this particular substring is a this particular part is a substring of what? This particular part is a substring of nothing but this, right? Just give me a minute. I'll just remove it. Just in this part, what I'll be doing is if I have God, right? If I have this thing, right, that is God. So this part I can say that okay, this is a permutation because it is of the same size and all the characters are occurring same number of time, right? Please give me a +1 in the chat if this much part is clear to all of you, right? I hope that this much part is clear to everybody. Now in this case, the thing with this particular problem is that how will you check for all the substrings, right? So one of the brute force ways that I can think of it is doing this problem is, if I approach this problem, let's say I'm approaching this problem and I'm writing the approach 1, so I can have a brute force approach for it, right? Brute force or a naive approach for this. What I can do for this particular problem is, I can simply say that if I have a string s1, let's say it is equal to something like a abc or something, and let's say I have the string s2 and it is equal to let's say x, then y, then p, then let's say c, then a, then b, something like this, or let's say cba. Let's take cba instead, right? So let's take here, let's take cba, right? Let's take cba here, then let's take q, then r, something like this, right? And then z, right? So what I can say is that I can generate all the substrings, and then I can check whether this particular substring is equal or not, right? So if I will generate all the substrings, so what I can do is I can keep a pointer, first of all I here, and then generate a substring of size 3. Then I can keep a pointer on the second alphabet, generate a substring of size 3. Then I can keep it on P, I can generate a substring of size 3. Then I can keep it on C, generate a substring of size 3, like this, right? So it would take order of n squared time to generate all the substrings for me to generate all the substrings. So I can generate the substring that is X, Y, P, then Y, P, C, then B, A, Q, something like this, right? I'll be generating and then I'll be checking, right? So if I'll be checking after that, so it will take a lot of time, right? For generating, even for generating all the substring, it's taking on an order of n square, and for checking part it will take a lot more time, right? So this could be the brute force way, but this is not the optimal approach to do it, right? So you can just tell the interviewer that okay, you can generate all the substrings and then check, and he will agree with you. Now the next approach for this thing is, if you will notice clearly, so let me use this part only so that we can save some time. So what I want to say is, let's talk about the approach 2, right? Let's talk about being optimal. So in this particular question, what I can say is that if I want to generate all the substrings, so earlier what I'm doing, I'm starting from here, then generating this part, then I'm starting from here, generating this part, I'm starting from here, generating this part, right? Then I'm starting from here, generating this part of size 3 each time, right? So yes, Nandu is saying right, sliding window. So basically what I was doing was, every time I was starting here, I was starting at a particular point and then doing this, right? But as he has mentioned, that if I have the size as 3, so if the first substring is what, x, y and p, right? What is the next substring? Next substring is y, p and c, right? Substring starting from here and ending at c. So I can observe that these characters are same, the middle characters are same, only the leftmost character that I have, that is x, this leftmost character x is getting excluded, and one right character is getting included, right? One new character is getting included and the leftmost character is getting excluded, right? That is, this left character is getting excluded and I'm including a right character. Does this much part make sense? Please give me a +1 in the chat if this much part makes sense to all of you, right? That I'm skipping one left character, I'm removing one left character, I'm adding one right character. So that means that in this way I can be more optimal. I can do this in order of n time, right? Because every time what I have to do, I have to just add one character at the right and one corresponding character at the right, and I have to just leave one character at the back, right? I have to decrease it. So what do I mean by that? What I can say is, I can have a map, right? First of all, I can have a map for this particular string. Let's say I have a map, let's say goal, which is the frequencies that I want to have. So this says that the frequency of A that I want is 1, the frequency of B that I want is 1, the frequency of C that I want is 1. The map will be 26 size, or you can say vector or a map in which I'll be storing the frequencies. It will be of 26 size because I have 26 different alphabets, right? And how? Because if A minus A character will give me 0, so that means Z minus A character will give me 25. So that means from 0 to 25 I have 26 characters. So that's why I'll be having its frequency like this, right? So what I can do is I can have this particular frequency, right? So it is storing the frequency. So it says that all the other characters should have the frequency 0. A should have frequency 1, B should have frequency 1, C should have frequency 1, but all the other characters should have a frequency that is 0, right? So that's perfect. Now what I will do in this part is, I'll generate the first substring, like using the sliding window concept. So till here, this is the first substring of size 3, right? So I'll say in the current map, there will be a current map. I'll say, okay, X frequency is 1, the frequency of Y is 1, the frequency of P is 1. I'll say this, right? So when the frequency of X is 1, when the frequency of Y is 1, and when the frequency of P is 1, in that case, I'll compare these two, right? I can directly compare the goal frequencies that I want to have to the current frequency, right? I can compare these two vectors, both are of size 26. I can compare these two. If they both are equal, that means that A is having a frequency of 1, B is having a frequency of 1, C is having a frequency of 1, and all others are having a frequency of 0. But here it is not the case, right? Because you can see that A, B, C are not having frequencies, and you can see X, Y, and P are having frequencies. So this particular this particular goal map is not equal to the current map, right? Current frequencies, right? So what I will do is I'll move to the next index. What does that mean? So I'll have a pointer here, right? Let me write it here. So I'll have a pointer here pointing to this particular index, and one pointer is standing here, right? So what I need to do is, if I want to move, so I'll move one character towards the right. So that means I'll add this particular character into my string, right? This particular character C, and I'll correspondingly remove this particular character X because I'm moving to Y. Now this is my string, that is Y, P and C is my current string, right? Y, P and C is my current string. So that means if I'm leaving X, so that means I'll decrease the frequency of X by 1. So that means X frequency would become 0. Actually it is 1 here, so that's why it's becoming 0, but basically I'm decreasing the frequency of X by 1, right? So its frequency becomes 0, and what happens is the frequency of C becomes 1. Now I'll check with goal and the current map, right? Goal is containing the goal frequencies that I want to have, and the current map is containing the frequency of the current window that I am at, current substring, that is ypc. I can see that y is occurring one time, p is occurring one time, c is occurring one time. So that means abc, this goal and this current is not equal, right? You can give me a +1 or clear in the chat if up till now the approach is clear to all of you, right? So I'll say okay, that this is not equal, this is also not same. So I'll say okay, let's move ahead, let's change our window. So in this case what I'll say is, I'll say okay, let's move to this part till this part, right? So I'll say that okay, C's frequency was earlier 1, P's frequency was earlier 1, Y's frequency was 1, but I'll decrease it to 0 because I have moved from it. And what I'll say is I'm adding B in this window, so B's frequency would become 1. So that is why this is the current map that I am at. So goal equal to the current map is A is 1, B is 1, C is 1 here. Is that the case here as well? No, because C is 1, B is 1, but P is 1 and A is 0, right? So that's why both of them are not equal. If both of them are not equal, then in that case I'll say okay, I need to move further. So I'll say okay, I'll move my P from this to this, so this would be my leftmost point now, and this particular will move from B, it will move to A, right? Like this. So now my current substring is CBA, and what I'm doing is I'm leaving P. So that's why, since I'm leaving P, the frequency of P would become 0, the frequency of Y was already 0, and the frequency of A would become 1. Right, up till now if things are clear to you, you can just give me a +1 in the chat or like the video so that I can understand that up till now everything is clear to you, right? Crystal clear, perfectly clear, right? That is up till now A is 1. So what do I observe? I observe that P is 0, so that's perfectly fine. Y is 0, that's perfectly fine. That is also here. That is also the case here. So all the characters from D up till Z are 0, right? Here all the characters from Z up till D are 0. So that means A's frequency is 1 here in goal, B's frequency is 1, C's frequency is 1. So if I'll check out this particular goal array, so it will be of 26 size, and A's frequency would be 1, B's frequency would be 1, and C's frequency would be 1. This is the goal map that I have, and the current map that I have. What is the frequency there? So I can observe that it is having A's frequency as 1, B's frequency as 1, C's frequency as 1, and all the other rest of the characters are having the frequency 0, right? So that simply, what does that simply indicate? That simply indicates that these two, that is the goal vector and the current vector, are equal, right? Why? Because it is having A as 1, B as 1, C as 1. It is also having A as 1, B as 1, C as 1, and all the rest of the characters from D to Z, all of them are 0, right? So that means that this particular window that I have, it is having a substring which is of size equal to the size of the given string S1. It is equal, and in that case what I need to do is I simply need to return true, because the frequencies are same. So that means I have found a substring S1 in the string S2, which is of permutation. The substring I have found in S2 of size S1, it is a permutation of the string S1, right? So that is the correct part. Like for ABC, you can see that we have found the substring that is CBA, right? There can be a lot of other permutations as well, but basically what is that? What the question wanted is that the characters can be jumbled. Characters, the frequency of each character should be the same. The character should be same. The frequency of the character should be same. They can be in any order, right? They can be in any permutation, but the frequency should be same. So if it's same, then I'll return true. In the end, suppose that I keep on sliding this window till the end, and if I never find that the goal frequency that I want, that is A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, C is equal to 1. If the goal frequency that I want in my vector, if I am never able to encounter that particular substring, so such that its frequency is also the same, in that case I'll return false in the end, right? I hope that this much part is clear to everyone. So what does it mean? So basically it will the frequency of the approach, for this approach, if I'll talk about the time complexity, so this approach is nothing but a sliding window, right? I hope you all are very much comfortable with sliding window hash maps, because we have been discussing it a lot these days, right? Sliding window plus hash map kind of a thing this is, right? So the time complexity for this approach, since I'm iterating through the string S2 once, so it will be nothing but S2.size, and I'm iterating through each character exactly once, and what I am doing is basically I'm comparing each time, right? I am comparing each window, so that means 26 as well. Why? Because it is the size of the vector that I am comparing. So this will be the overall time complexity, and the space complexity would be order of 26, you can say. That is the total number of alphabets that I am having. So in this case, the space complexity, you can say order of 26, or you can say constant space complexity, because 26 is not much, right? So this is the time and the space complexity. Let me show you the code part for this particular approach. So let me first show you the code part, right? So in this particular problem, what I have done is basically I have marked the current frequency, right? I have a current and I have a goal frequency, right? And what I want is, I want the goal frequency to be equal to the current frequency, right? So goal frequency is although the goal frequency, what I'll do is I'll iterate through the string S1, and I'll store it, right? I'll iterate through the string s1 and I'll simply store all the frequencies of its character, right? If there is no character, if the corresponding character is not present, then I can mark its frequency as 0, right? So that's perfectly fine. After this, what I'll do is I'll iterate through the string, and there's a condition where I'll be checking, right? I'll be checking every time, but if I'm adding a current character, then I'll do character plus plus, right? Whatever character, ith character I'm adding in my current, so I'll add its frequency, and I'll check if my I is greater or equal to the s1 dot size. So that means that if the window size is if the substring that I am having, if it is of size that is the size of the substring s1, if that is the case, in that case what I want is I want the previous character to get leaved, right? What I'm saying, basically what I'm saying, I'll let you know. So if suppose that I had a string, let's say s1 was something like this, right? Just give me a second. So if I'm saying that if let's say the s1 string was, let's say, abc, and the s2 string was, let's say, x, then y, then c, then b, then a, then z, something like this, right? What I'm saying is, if you have this string as size 3, right? So if you are at current character here, so what will you consider comparing this? No, you will say that okay, you are still not complete, right? So you'll come till here, right? And then you will say that okay, we are eligible to compare. And when you will come here, so what will happen? This index would be 3, right? And that is greater or equal to the size. So if my I, this index is I, if I is greater or equal to this s1 dot size, in that case I'll be leaving the leftmost character each time, because I am adding one character each time towards the right, one by one. So I need to leave one character from the left, so that I can maintain the size of the window. That is, I can have the size of the window as 3 only, right? Every time, that is this particular size. So substring, I need to compare it of size 3, so that's why I'm doing it. So basically I'll compare whenever I am adding a character, into my string, rightmost character, that is the ith character, so I'll increment its count. And whenever I'm leaving a character, so that's why I'll decrement it, right? The leftmost character that I am leaving, I'll decrement its frequency. And if the frequency that I want, that is the goal frequency that I want for all the characters for that particular substring s1, indicating that if the goal is equal to the current, so that means that we have a substring in s2 string such that it is the substring in s2 that is present, it is the permutation of the string s1, right? That's given to us. So in that case we'll return true. Ultimately, if we are not able to find anything like that, so we'll return false in the end. Let me show you the Java code as well. Please write clear in the chat if this much part is clear to all of you, so that I can understand that things are clear to you. Here also you will have a frequency f1 or goal, which will be initializing the first string, that is s1. Every character you will be initializing. Then here also you are moving it like that. So if j is greater or equal to n, so in that case, if you are adding a particular character, so you are adding its frequency. If you are adding a right character, so you are adding its frequency. If you are leaving a left character, in that case you are decreasing its frequency. And if the first array frequency is equal to the second array frequency, that is the goal frequency that I want is equal to the current frequency that I am having of that particular size string s1, then in that case I'll return a true. That means that a particular substring is present in the string s2. Otherwise I'll return a false. In the end, after the loop is over, please give me a +1 in the chat if the things are clear to all of you. Also, you can consider to like this video and let me know if this much part is clear to all of you, right? So this particular problem, as I said, it was a combination of sliding window concept and plus you can say hash maps, right? Basically, every time you are leaving a left character, so you are decreasing its frequency, and you are adding a right character, so you are increasing its frequency. Shreya and others, Shreya, Mahesh, others, just give me a +1 guys in the chat and like the video. It helps to increase the reach of the videos, and it also helps, it also keeps me motivated, right, to bring such detailed video editorials for you guys, right? So this is the approach. As I told you, the time complexity would be nothing but order of s2 dot size into 26, because I am comparing every time, right? So this would be the frequency, this would be the time complexity. Space complexity would be order of 26. This particular question, as I mentioned, it was asked in Google. Apart from this, it was also asked in Facebook, that is Meta. It was also asked in Microsoft. It was asked in Amazon and Adobe. These are the primary companies, although it was asked in Oracle as well, but still these are the main companies that we all target. So that's why you should keep on doing this LeetCode daily challenge with me every day. I'll be consistent. I just want you guys to be consistent, and I have provided the Java as well as the C++ code in the description of this video, so you can consider to like this video if you haven't. And if you have friends, if you have a college group, if you have a WhatsApp group with students, if you have friends, you can consider to share in your WhatsApp group or things like these, because or if you want your friends, so you can invite them to this particular live streams every time, or you can ask them to watch just to have a look, and then they will understand that we are trying to provide some quality video tutorials for all of you. So this was it for today, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you soon in the next live. Till then, take care, keep coding, and